let's get a fundamental view on what's really happening and whether it makes sense to take some, well, positions ahead of these two large events, though some would say that the US Fed event is discounted. But let's talk about all of that and more. Shailendra Kumar, Director and CEO at Narnolia Securities, joins us right now on the show. Shailendra, good having you. Thanks so much for joining in. What would you be telling your key clients to do ahead of such important next 4 or 5 trading sessions? Also considering that we are at the end of the year and globally a lot of funds might want to take some positions off, book profits in order to show up the numbers.
Yeah. So if you're talking about Nifty level right now, so we have a 3-part view on that. I'll just take a minute on that. So for last 6 months, if you look at monthly chart, the Nifty level of 10,100 has repeatedly come every month, right? So we are already in a time-wise consolidation in the market in that sense, right? The quarterly, the Q2 number that it came last month, the Nifty profit has gone up by 13% plus. And this is highest in the last 13 quarters almost. Close to the December 15 number was also decent. So the second highest profit growth in terms of Nifty. Now, looking forward, what our view is like, so for calendar year 2018, the Nifty level will move in accordance with how the earning expectation for FY19 gets, spread out like. So if you look at the consensus right now, which is 20% growth in Nifty EPS for FY19, if you go by that, then there is a very decent upside potential in the market. Our own estimate is like 15% plus kind of a Nifty EPS growth in FY19. And we have a slightly lower exit multiple in terms of PE. Taking that into account, we have a Nifty target of 11,350 for calendar 2018. So it's a good time to buy even now. We have a decent upside potential.
You're not factoring in any kind of volatility due to what could happen in the Gujarat elections. If at all there is an adverse ruling for the markets and the volatility that may follow thereof.
I understand. So even if something adverse happens in Gujarat, say take some probability on that, market will be taking that factoring into, see, already there is a sideways consolidation happening in Nifty. So we'll go to the lower end of the sideways consolidation. From there on, again, everything will be on the FY19 earnings. So by end of December, we'll forget about Gujarat, we'll move about earning for FY19.
Okay. So we'll have to really wait for these two key events to pass. But the other key event, as Neeraj was mentioning earlier, is the US Fed meeting. And later on, we are expecting some kind of tightening world over. Shailendra, you have an optimistic view on Nifty. I'll assume it's totally driven by the earnings upgrades or earnings recovery going forward. And there could be, in fact, some kind of a derating. The multiples may actually contract. Is that the kind of scenario you're looking at in view of a global tightening?
Certainly. So our estimate is, see, the tightening globally as well. If you look at Indian 10-year bond yield, it has gone up in last week also after the RBI policy, last policy. So these tightening in the interest rate will have an impact on the earning so the multiple derating. So right now, when you are trading at about 22.5 times, say, FY18 earning, that will get derated by the end of calendar 2018. So it will come down to, say, 20.5, 21. But the earning will be having, earning will be the one which will support the price appreciation from here on. So if you factor a little bit of PE derating, still you have a good amount of upside for market as such.
Okay, so that is the strategy on markets. But what are the key sectors or your top theme that you are focusing on right now? Looking at the higher target that you have on Nifty.
Yeah, so like in terms of sector, we are slightly underweight on staples and overweight on financials. But the story for 2018 will be similar to 2017. We will have a lot of bottom-up ideas, single stock ideas, and they'll be driving the market. Now, in terms of those ideas, the crux right now is Indian businesses, which are going through the formalization or what I call more clearly professionalization, where the management depth is getting increased because of professionally getting managed. Those businesses which can have a professional capability to scale from here on. So a lot of name in retail will do pretty good coming years. A lot of finances will do very nice. So it will be individual stocks where the management is building a right capability to scale the businesses from here on.
Okay. So you would rather focus on bottom-up ideas. If you could share some of those ideas with us.
So for long we were very bullish on the retail. One name which is still, there's a significant amount of upside left is PC Jewelers. This one company is into, they're doing all the right execution. Their EBIT margin is close to what the Titan has, but if you look at the valuation multiple, PC Jewelers is trading almost half of what Titan is like. So there's a decent upside in PC Jewelers, business, right execution strategy, and they're not going very asset heavy. They're going asset light gradually, and their export part also, overall in the revenue, the export is reducing, which will further give the impetus to their margin. So that's one good name. A lot in financials also. So one company lately we have been advising our clients to go bullish on is Chola Financials. Again, a very nice businesses. They are investing rightly in the technology and all their auto loan business or maybe housing and maybe MSME finance, all are doing pretty nice. AUM is growing close to 20%, and I assume the next 2 years also they will have a decent AUM growth. In terms of profit, out of all the NBFC companies that we track, we believe that like Chola Financial will have the best profit growth for next 2 years, trading almost at the middle of the pack of NBFC. So this one again a good decent upside for Chola Financial as well.
So why Chola compared to a clutch of other NBFCs, Shailendra? There are so many NBFCs, so many housing finance companies which look good for earnings traction to continue. Why are you choosing this one over the others?
Right. Okay, yeah. So like housing financials, we are not in general very bullish on right now. We like more consumer finance than the housing finance one. Housing finance has a good amount of benefit because of lowering of interest rate in their books. So they had a lot of commercial bank borrowings 2 years back. In last 2 years from market they have borrowed at a lower rate, which gave them higher NIM for last almost 8-9 quarters. I think that is behind us. They'll not have that advantage going forward. So in consumer names, I believe like there is still a good amount of upside. Say Bajaj Financial is into consolidation. Valuation still has not come to our comfort level. So somebody trying to take exposure there can go to the Bajaj Financial Services route, which is all three businesses, like a large stake in Bajaj Finance, good amount of stake in general insurance as well as life insurance. So those are all interesting ideas.
FinServ, I presume, is something that Shailendra is talking about. What's the dark horse, Shailendra? You've spoken about ideas which look good from a valuation perspective, from a business perspective. Are there any dark horses that you are betting on, something that you believe may not necessarily do well, but if it does well, could actually have multi-bagger returns? Any stock that, or any idea that falls within that basket?
Yeah, so correct. So in terms of large cap, one idea which is I think it has done some decently good in last a month over is Bharti Airtel. Yeah.
No, Shailendra, sorry, excuse me. You can make your point about like, Bharti Airtel.
For Bharti, yeah,
Please finish your point, then I'll finish my question. Bharti Airtel, why do you like it?
Okay. Yeah. So like, see, if you look at last 3-4 quarters, the Africa business is doing decently well now. Now, if I look at the telecom market in India, the thread which is Reliance Jio, the kind of a strategy Reliance Jio has adopted, particularly few months that the management commentary has come and the last result as well. Their focus is now more on getting it positive cash flow than trying to become number one in the Indian market. Now that will be auguring very well for Bharti per se. Bharti still commands the number one position in Indian telecom market, and if Jio intensity in terms of pricing pressure somewhat contained, then it will be a good day for Bharti.
Okay, give me is there a hidden gem idea that you have, Shailendra? A small cap idea which could become really big, not necessarily safe?
No, I think PC Jeweler is still a very it's not a very big idea and not very explored idea per se. I think that will be a good story bet on. I'll not try to go into a lot of smaller names, because then every quarter you have to be very watchful on those stocks, because a lot of things changes in there. Like, so PC Jeweler could be one idea where we can have a very decent wealth creation over the next 2-3 years.
Okay, one interesting theme which is doing well in today's market is fertilizer stocks. They have been doing well over the last few sessions, but there could be an added positive to that, where Transport Minister is now talking about methanol blending. It's a fresh development. Not sure if you have looked at it, but anything that you like in fertilizer space?
Okay, Okay, so fertilizer per se, you have to be very technically right in terms of, when you buy and when you sell. So you have to be very technically alert, in the sense, in general, we are bullish on the agri theme. So I presume the next round of, larger reform will happen somewhere in the rural infra theme. So that will be, not only fertilizer, a lot of rural theme can come up, going forward.
By the way, I think what's happened to Max has resulted in that stock coming off, but Fortis too has come off. These are the top two losers on the Nifty 500 today. Max India is down about 4%. Fortis is down about 3%. So watch out for these two names. They are correcting in the session today. HUL is a bit soft from the large cap space. And from the other active names from Friday, both Radico Khaitan and J. Kumar Infra, both of these stocks, J. Kumar in particular was very active in Friday's session. It's come off about a couple of percentage points. Radico Khaitan is down about a couple of percentage points. So those two are looking slightly wobbly on the losing side. On the gaining side though, clutch of names including Unitech, which is up about 15%. The final question from my end, Shailendra at least, is on the liquor companies. Anything out here that you like? There is United Spirits on the large cap end, maybe a Radico Khaitan, and then a clutch of other smaller names. Do you like anything here?
See, there's one issue with the spirit company. Like what? A lot of regulatory intervention keep happening, right? Plus, United Spirit has so for the longer term perspective, we are still bullish on the United Spirit. The kind of thing that they have gone through last 2 years in terms of all the negative news around, I think next 1 to 2 years it will pass through, and then the right market share gain for United Spirit will happen, and the stock will get further re-rated, in the short to medium term.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Shailendra, thank you so much for taking the time out and being with us and sharing your thoughts and your ideas as well. That's Narnolia Securities with their thoughts on markets.